That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
articulate and intelligent.
Greg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck that.
Ooh, terrible. Good, not bad. Oh, pretty good. Okay, decent, fair, great. I love this.
This sucks.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder how the stuff gets made.
All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card, where we actually vet our guests before they come on, unlike the Canadian Parliament. Who knows?
Oopsies.
You know, the craziest thing about that is that when they announced that he was a hero in World War II when he fought against the Russians, does anybody in Canada not know their fucking history? Like, that immediately would have set off like a trigger for me. Well, wait a minute. Did you just say he fought against the Russians in World War II? The Russians were our fucking allies in World War II. How is it possible that he's anything but a fucking Nazi? You know, because all foreign units in that part of the world, as the Germans were invaded, they were all SS units, all of them. And in fact, he ended up being a former member of SS Galicia, which is one of the most horrible units in World War II. They killed countless thousands of Polish people, and yet he was a hero. And everybody in the Canadian Parliament clapped. Oh, my God. I mean, it just says something about how incompetent the people in power are now. Like, they don't even, like, the basic common sense doesn't even hit them. Oh, what? Did you say he fought against the Russians in World War II? Okay, wait a minute. Yeah. Hold on. Something's not adding up there.
I imagine that they were all cheering like, yeah. And he fought the Russians in World War II. Yeah.
What? No, nobody stopped clapping. They clapped some more. Nobody.
I can imagine there had been somebody in the room like, what?
Wait, what did he just say?
He did what now?
I mean, all you got to do is read your history books. Certain Ukrainian, there were Ukrainian units in the German, I don't know, they were allied with the Germans during World War II. This is not difficult. So anyhow, Canada, they can't fucking find a single billionaire to pay for their soccer federation. Their fucking parliaments. Yeah, the parliament's made up of a bunch of fucking bozos who don't know anything that happened before they were born. Like they're a bunch of nitwit morons who have never studied history at all and don't understand as they clapped for this 89, 92 or whatever, 98-year-old man. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't the Ukrainians fight on the side with the Germans in World War II? Wait a minute. What's going on here? There's something suspicious about this. But nobody said it. All right. Berliner Amerikaner. Like comma, you turds. I'm going to figure out what comma stands for because it's capitalized, right? COMMA.
What's those turds?
It's got to stand for something, and turds must be an acronym for something. Don't you think?
Yeah. In the comments down below after the show is being live.
It goes off.
It goes off. Once it goes off.
Off air.
Yeah. Write what you think comma and turds mean.
The acronym. What are those acronyms? Could they possibly mean? The turd in the background. Welcome back to the Straight Red Card. It's time for lots of drunk fun. Which Euro player will fail? Probably most. Don't worry, my wife will give them sympathy blowies. Blowies, all right. She won't give me one, though. Man, you seem to be in a tough relationship, dude. It seems to me doesn't seem to be going both ways. Did we already ask what flag that is? Is that what? Yeah. Is that Guinea Papau? Is that what he said that was?
Something like that.
And I used to know my flags really well, but that one escapes me for whatever reason. Most of the Ukrainians fought for the Soviets. Well, much later in the war, they all switched sides. That's like saying, well, the Italians, fought, alongside Americans. Well, partisans did later in the war. Same thing could be said for a lot of the Eastern Bloc countries who all changed sides, once the war was going the other way. So let's be fair about that. Prior to the war going the other way, there were lots of Ukrainian units that fought alongside German units in the World War II. It's just a fact. It's not a big deal.
It's like, what, Hitler got shot, ripped the tag off, and like ally badge on. Woo!
I know Hitler never got it. This is long before Hitler was stowed away in a bunker in Berlin, knowing and it all hit the people around him, knowing this shit was going to go down badly. But when the tide of the war changed, it was fairly obvious to many people that were fighting alongside the Germans that it's probably time we consider switching sides. So it happened a lot. Romanians did it last second. Lots of countries did it last second. Or not last second, but when it was obvious that the big L was coming. Okay. So, also, did you see that the Golden Bachelor, that's going to be a new show? The Golden Bachelor. What does that make you think of as soon as you hear it? The Golden Bachelor. As ever. Yes, that's what I thought too. Yeah. This guy's like, I want to pee on you, right? The whole show's about who he can hook up with and pee on. The Golden Bachelor. Yeah.
Bachelor. So would that be a bunch of females aiming to get the guy, the one bachelor?
Yeah, aiming to get with the Golden Bachelor. Yeah.
So is he the one receiving, or are they the ones receiving?
No, he wants to pee on them. That's generally how that works, right?
Okay, well, yeah. Then at that point, like she was the least freaked out. I'm going to pick her.
I mean, I don't know. It could mean if he's the Golden Bachelor, he wants to get peed on. I don't know. That's why he's golden. But what a dumb name for a show. What's the next one going to be? The Platinum Bachelor? We going to move up the range here? Platinum? No.
The American Pie movie, one of the movies, I forgot which one it was, two or three, where Stifler's trying to hook up with this chick at the very beginning of the movie. She's like, I want you to close your eyes and I'm going to pour champagne on you. And he's like, okay, that's weird. And he closes his eyes and a guy above them like knocked a brick over and like knocked her out by accident. And he's peeing over the balcony. And it's like pouring down on his head. He's like going like, oh, when did you take the time to warm it up? So bubbly.
Oh, yeah. One of those accidental golden showers. Yeah, I mean, it's just a stupid name. They should change it. Also, the Subway commercials they're playing need to stop. All right? There's never that much meat on a Subway sandwich. Never. There's never that much. You have to look for the meat. It's so sparse in a sandwich at Subway. Brett Butt Stuff Corbett and Derek Patillo Ritchie. Listen, I mean, isn't the word for chicken in Spanish close to sounding like tapateo? It's tapateo, something like that. You know, I know I go in and order it. They ask me what meat I want on my taco, and I say tapateo. And nobody has put anything else but chicken on it so far. So I must be saying something right. Where am I wrong on that? Polo! I mean, polo's what I say. God damn it, polo. Well, then what is polo? Pollo tapateo is a dish. And I used to order it, and it had chicken with a sort of creamy, cheesy white sauce with mushrooms and onions on it. Hold on now.
It sure was.
Creamy, cheesy, though.
Sure was awfully creamy.
Well, I said cheesy, right? Make sure you keep that in mind. That's that. Otherwise, it would get gross. All right. So that is the beginning of the show today. Oh, how do you want to talk about people who are like, hey, man, don't join Rumble because it's the true social, whatever.
We had a guy who was questioning whether or not we were going to Rumble, which is fine. You're fine to do so. You can ask those questions.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't.
What I reiterate to the guy, you know, we've talked about Rumble, we've talked about Twitch, we've talked about Facebook, even posting shit on Twitter. We're talking about expanding our reach outside of just YouTube, because at any point YouTube can eat us.
Yeah, they just take us right off air.
What happens when YouTube all of a sudden thinks urinating on people is like uncouth? Like, not cool. Can't advertise that shit, right?
Or discussing it. I mean, we got to be prepared. Look what happened to Tact, and that was just a big fucking major misunderstanding. And if that can happen to him, so all I'm saying is, just we got to look at our options. And
we're not saying, to you YouTube, we're going over to Rumble. We're saying, all right, we're still going to post here on YouTube, but we might also post the exact show on Rumble.
Just in case.
Bro, who knows?
I mean, if there are other options, we'll look into it. But as far as a sort of basic, almost like for like platform, that's what Rumble is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like for like platform. I don't really, I mean, I know there are some questionable characters on Rumble, but I don't think everybody on there is questionable. And
we're already lumped into the QAnon group of U.S. Men's National Team Twitter. We might as well just join our people, right?
Oh, I don't even put us in with QAnon. I don't even want to be in that fucking discussion. So no, I don't want to touch that at all. Yuck. But at the same time, that's like letting the mainstream press label Russell Brand, who is an obvious leftist, on almost every single issue you can bring up.
Spiritualist at this point. I don't even know what
well, I mean, okay, that's his thing. That's his shindig, right? That's how he stops from drinking and taking drugs, whatever anybody's got to do to get through the night. That's fine. But I mean, if you know anything about his politics, you cannot brand Russell Brand as a right winger. That's insane. That's not legit. That's not looking at it issue by issue by issue by issue. And I'm not going to go over the issues. But I'm not saying I'm a massive fucking Russell Brand fan either. I've seen some of his shows. He doesn't sound, I don't watch any of the ones about UFOs or any of that crazy shit because I'm not interested in fucking UFOs. If they come, they fucking come. I'm not interested.
Say no to fucking UFOs.
Yeah. So anyhow, it's the whole Russell Brand thing was mostly because of what's going on and the fact that he got banned. That's the only reason I'm bringing him up, because that's scary. If you run a YouTube channel and all it takes is accusations like it did against Tack to get him kicked off, and the same thing's now happening to Brand. And I don't like that trend. Not that anything is going to be accused against me, because there's really nothing you could prove, obviously, but that's the point, right? You don't have to prove dick. You just need to make an accusation.
I was saying, I mean, as far as the two of us, Derek, the one who has the more questionable past with women. Coming after you next, Derek.
Wait, I don't have a questionable past with women. I've just had many an experience.
What? Oh,
okay. Many experience because
many S is like S. Okay, continue. What do you got?
I've been in bands. So that's what happens. I've had girls ask if they could pee on me. It happens. It's okay. But that doesn't mean they were questionable. That's for certain. They weren't.
I see you didn't deny that it actually happened, though.
No, it didn't happen. I wasn't in for that. Although I'm glad she asked. It was nice that she asked. She didn't just stand over me and drop a golden shower on me, right?
Mm,
I mean,
sure.
She said, "Can I pee on you?" I said, "I'd rather you not. Thank you."
Yeah.
I didn't want to be peed on. All right, maybe that makes me a stick in the mud. What am I?
Yeah.
I'm so conservative with my
super
sex.
prude.
She's the same girl that wanted to poop on me. All right, so come on. All right, I had to draw the line. And amazingly, after I said no, don't pee on me, she asked if she could poop on me. You think that like one's unacceptable, the other one would probably be unacceptable.
Here's what I think what she was trying to do. She was trying to get you so weirded out the poop that you'd be okay with the pee. What a weird start of the show here we got going on here.
I don't think so, Brett.
Let's quickly jump to the comment that I've got posted here so we can put that to bed and then move on.
There it is. It's a spicy Mexican sauce. Tapatio. So it's Polo Tapatio. That's what I was eating for like a year when I was on my low carb diet.
All right, hold on.
All right.
Real quick. Before you even read this, Juan said to post on Pornhub.
What?
And then he said, thanks, guys. I'm eating.
I'm eating things. I said it never happened. It was just an inquiry on her part.
Jesse Nicolon wants to know why didn't you want to get pissed on, pussy?
Because it was my bed and I didn't want my bed to be pissed all over. I don't know. I didn't want my fucking cushions and my mattress to have urine all over it. So excuse me, but now that is not the only reason. I just thought it was an unnecessary act that I didn't find sexually gratifying. Now, I could have done it to make her feel sexually gratified, but at the time, I really didn't want to wake up in a pool of urine the next morning. Anyhow, I think I'm being fairly reasonable here, Brett. Don't you think? No poop and no pee. All right, Len.
Clearly, you're not going to get with Amber Heard with that attitude.
Well, Amber Heard doesn't do that during the sexual activity. She leaves it later when she's upset at you.
I mean, if you're that put off by it, man,
I mean,
that's a no-go for her.
And it's Amber Heard, so, considerations. All right, well, not now knowing how big of a fucking idiot she is. But Len at $15 says, Canada's soccer's deal with CSB was inspired by the U.S. soccer sum deal. Canada's soccer deal with Canadian Sports Broadcasting, is that what that stands for? Was inspired by U.S. soccer sum deal. Yeah, Len, I am not like an insider when it comes to the Canadian Soccer Federation. I just know they're broke, and that outside of their top like 8 players, 7 players, they're garbage. Sorry, Canada. I think that's
average. They're average.
Yeah, that's about right. No, okay, they're average. The quality drops down after those top 7 players starkly. Yeah. They don't have the embarrassment of riches that we do in many positions. They do have one of the best players, however, in CONCACAF right now, Davies. So there's that.
Sure.
Thanks, Len. We do appreciate it. Now I'm going to blow my nose. So hold on. Or I could be doing something else over here.
Oh, no, Derek, we can't hear you. That's the weirdest thing in the world.
Oh, yeah. Let's start the show.
Just so you know, I muted you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of wasted the experience.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to hear you releasing a phlegm out of your nostrils.
How do you know I was releasing? Maybe I was sniffing something in.
No, Derek, your history proves otherwise.
I haven't done that since I was 30. All right, or in my 30s, I should say, not 30.
Saying history proves otherwise. You're more likely to be releasing it than.
That's true. Now, you're right. Now, in my old age, I've gotten phlegmy and have all these goddamn, allergies I never had before. It sucks. All right, let's start the show. Let's get it started. I know I did this last time. Everybody's like, and then I busted on the band, and everybody's like, man, don't bust on that band.
Yeah. So were people, I didn't look at the comment section, David. Were people upset that that Black Eyed Peas got busted on?
Larry was.
No, Larry doesn't seem to be a Black Eyed Peas type of fan. Come on.
I don't know.
You're joking.
It didn't hurt my feelings.
Oh, how could it?
I know. Most of the music sucks. I'm sorry. Most of it does. It got really annoying. Near the end. Anyhow, and then having to hear it on every fucking commercial, too. That makes you want to vomit. After a while. All right. I got Thursday night football up on the screen in my face, but you know what? I'm dedicated to this show, so I'm not even going to pay any attention to it whatsoever.
Derek, we tend to consider ourselves foodies. We talked about doing a foodie podcast at one point.
Yeah, 2 fat foodies.
Do you have anything special tonight?
I had, in fact, 2 Maryland crab cakes tonight before the show with my own homemade sauce that was a mixture of mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, red wine vinegar, sugar, and onions. Mix. Went well with the crab cakes. They were delicious. I did buy them at the store, but they were good. Yeah. Some of them you buy, there's no meat in that shit. This is nice and meaty. Lumps of crab. Good stuff. Would you?
I had some a nice grilled turkey. Not the turkey you're thinking of. This is just regular turkey meat. This isn't like I'd make a turkey and cut it up and then put it on a sandwich or anything like that. No,
this is one of the turkeys you bought last November.
No, I'm down to that. I'm down to one last turkey. No,
one last turkey.
One last turkey. Yeah, just in time to restock here in a couple months. But that's beside the
turn
point.
Into a turkey.
Oh, can't beat it. That'd be fun. But yeah, so I had a nice grilled turkey sandwich.
Of course you did.
On some sourdough.
Oh, that's good. Sourdough's awesome. Yeah.
Nice
Little
little bit.
mayo.
Well, you know what? It turns out a lot of people also like Taco Bell's Mexican pizza, apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
Are you a Mexican pizza fan?
I've never had one. I don't go to Taco Bell very often. Turns out we underestimated how many of you love Mexican pizza 7 times more than we expected, to be exact. We are working as fast as we can to restock Mexican pizza ingredients. We'll need some time to replenish our supplies, but when it comes back, we promise it's here to stay. We'll be ready, says the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. I have known many people with the shits after Taco Bell. There is no doubt about it. That was just normal in college. You know, someone's been on the toilet all day. You have Taco Bell. Yeah, he had Taco Bell.
Huh?
That Taco Bell in Bloomington on like 10th and Walnut. That thing was infamous for making people have the shits.
Yes. Yeah. I have been there many a time.
Yeah. Bad.
Probably frequented the toilet as much, but
and then there was one, and then it moved to 7th and Walnut. Yep.
Yes,
that's
Chris,
a lot of tabs.
That is a lot of tabs. We'll be covering a lot of stuff tonight, guys.
Derek
comes
short.
on before the show. He goes, man, you know, I think today's going to be a quick show. It's going to be a quick show.
It's going to be a short show.
No, It's not going to be a quick show at all. But Eric, you know that I'm not so much as a seafoodie fan. You know, you had your crab cakes earlier.
It's tragic.
I'm just not a big seafood fan. Although I mentioned after the Jamaican trip that I did eat quite a bit of tuna and various versions of tuna.
Yeah, good stuff when it's fresh.
Yeah, but I'm not. There's probably a couple different rules, little sushi rules that I've had that I've been fine with, but I'm just not a big seafoodie guy, right?
Okay.
So I found this meme. I thought this was pretty funny.
All right.
Let's pull it up.
We'll be the judge of that. Okay. Let's go get some sushi. Friend, I don't like eating raw fish. Well, Fukuden. Fuck you, then.
There you go. Well, fuck you, then.
I know. But it's actually pronounced Fukuden. But that's okay. But I know what he was doing.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced fuck you, then.
It isn't, but you know it's a good.
Fuck you, then.
Fuck you, then.
But if you ever want to throw on the stereotypical accents, I mean, that's pretty much kind of a go-to right there, right?
Right. I wonder where that is, the Fukuden.
Judging by the surrounding
architecture
area and looking at that, I'm going to say it's probably in Japan.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if it were, but yeah. You can pronounce Fukuden, but not Polo. I've always said Pollo. My Spanish is like the worst. It is the worst of all the languages I know. I don't know, excuse me, because I don't know it, obviously. I know basic Spanish.
Similar to when we got flamed for when we mispronounced Majorca.
Oh, yeah. That's going to happen.
And then it came up, I'm like, oh, that'll never happen again. I should have known better than that.
I mean, are we supposed to pronounce Barcelona?
3 years of high school Spanish here. What?
Are we supposed to pronounce Barcelona like they pronounce it in Barcelona? I mean, I don't know. I do understand, but nobody seems to bitch when we say Bayern Munich. And it's not Bayern Munich. It's Bayern München. I don't know. Nobody complains when people say Cologne when it's Köln. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I have my complaints too, I guess.
Man, some of the pronunciations are just funny, right?
I don't really have complaints. I don't care what you call it for the most part. I really don't. You say Cologne all you want.
Well, I will say Cologne.
You know what? Tack can go back to calling it Borussia Mönchengladbach for all I care. I really don't care.
Not Dortmund.
There you go.
The original one?
It might have been. Yes.
And we're going to continue calling baloney.
Not Bologna.
Not Bologna.
Bologna. All right. Well, working on it, folks. Just give us some space. Don't get up all on our asses about pronunciations. I mean, listen, we don't mind. If you want to correct us so we don't sound like idiots, I get it. Just be.
I'd prefer you to correct us in the comments section where it's actually going to help our algorithm.
Whatever you can do to help the algorithm would be nice. I like the people who post in there and they just say, hey, man, any post is a good post. That's true. It is. It really is. And I like it.
That's just like the people that come on and give us a thumbs down because they don't like us or they don't like our content or whatever. I'm like, you're still helping us out. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't think we get a lot of thumbs down.
We don't. We only get like one or two at most. I had a guy. I'll end up pulling it. No, whatever. I made a comment on about Gio. The rumor about Gio being looked at by
AC Milan.
AC Milan, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's missing the key perk of him going to AC Milan because I've seen a lot of people give a lot of mixed reviews, like, "Oh, I think this will be great. I think this will be bad. I think this will be great. I think this will be bad." But I think everybody's missing the obvious one, and that's he's going to finally get away from the Dortmund medical staff.
Yes, no, that's a good point.
So I say this.
Yes.
Now, Derek, do you think I'm being serious?
No, it's an obvious joke.
But it's not obvious. I got a handful of people who are like, you're one of those people who thought that his problems came down the medical staff. You're an idiot. I'm like,
no, you're an idiot because you don't get the joke because you're a fucking idiot. It's hilarious when the idiots call you an idiot when they're the idiot. That's hilarious to me.
So I had a guy on there and he said something very similar. He's like, you're one of those tactical manager guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, your lack of a sense of humor amuses me. Maybe you should try better or something like that. Because he said you try better. And then he goes, it's not that I didn't get a joke. It's just you're not funny. And I'm like, we're going back and forth. And finally he admits.
When did he become the arbitrator of what's funny?
Yeah. But finally he admits, he goes, yeah, you're getting funnier by the minute.
Okay, good.
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you. And I know it was a stupid back and forth between me and this guy, and we're both just goofing back and forth. The original comment may have been serious, but I hope he left with a big smile on his face afterwards.
It's probably best you did not at me into that conversation.
No.
I know it's
Derek,
probably for the best.
If you want, Derek, you can just go to my thread and you can go down the list of all the comments and find the ones you want to comment to.
No, I don't want to do that because, but I don't want to feel like I have to come to your defense because you don't need it. It's just that my first comment would have been, of course, you're calling him an idiot? The irony. I mean, really, would have been my first comment.
As I told one of the people who were calling me an idiot basically for thinking that the medical staff is the problem. And I go, my only response to him was like, you take Twitter too seriously. Come on, guys.
I guess. I mean, listen.
Nobody really thinks this. It is a clear-cut joke for the last 2 to 3 years that the medical staff has been horrendous. Maybe not necessarily as recent, but
Yeah, I know. I mean, these are just people who have to take, they have to focus on everything else in their life and be hypercritical of things that are obviously funny comments because their penis is small. And if that's what takes their mind off their tiny penis, then that's why. That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with having a tiny penis. Peni.
Yeah. That's what makes my jokes funny.
It's okay. Not everyone's born blessed. And so
yes. So Brett did respond. He goes, my response is still, have you seen Milan's medical staff? And I go, and I did
we don't really. I mean, it's not special either. So yeah. Either way, well, at least Pulisic's been healthy since he's been there, which is a minor miracle, right?
Hallelujah.
So far, knock on fucking, petrified wood. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, what else you got?
Let's jump into some MLS talk. I want to talk about some stuff.
MLS. We hate MLS around here. You didn't know that? We hate MLS. We hate MLS.
Did you watch the League's Cup yesterday?
Yes.
Or whenever it was yesterday, right?
I mean, you could call it watching. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something else. I think I was playing darts, and while the game was on, and so
I liked it because we're talking about like Derek was like, I got MLS. Derek's like, why do we have so much MLS? And I go, well, it's League Cup. I got some stuff to talk about. And he goes, what's there to talk about the League's Cup? You know, there was drama, and I goes, I guess I wasn't really watching it that close.
It's a PKs. That's all. I watched the PKs.
No.
So, I watched some of the game too, but I wasn't enthralled or, I wasn't getting a sports arousal or anything.
I suspect you probably could have just been just as informed with the game if you watched the highlights like I did, really.
Oh, well, I actually had the game on, but I probably watched as much as you did when you watched the highlights.
As we can see, the stats here really doesn't make much of a difference. I didn't realize that Tigre completely outpossessed LAFC in this front, but I mean that's pretty typical, I guess.
Yeah, that's normal.
So, but yeah, I'm not even concerned about the overall play of the game. There are certain things that we're going to bring up here because I got some videos lined up and everything. They did go into PKs after a goal was called back because apparently Chiellini had moved the ball forward and then passed the ball on a set play. So like the ball was considered to be in motion, and they called it back. That was after the goal was called. And watching the replay, the ball came to a complete stop as he kicked it. So it was in motion as he was winding up, but then it stopped, and then the ball played. But did they not have VAR in the League's Cup?
No, they don't.
Because I was going to say the second yellow card that ended up getting the red card for I can't do his name right now. I'm seeing it right here actually, Diego. Clearly there's no contact at all. There's no contact.
It's like Luca de la Toya's yellow card today.
So
it's a fucking ghost.
So I'm gonna need to balance out this because I need to get the some audio pulled up here.
Oh, there's audio in this.
There is in fact audio, but it's a video.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
So this is during the PKs.
Okay.
With nice home footage here.
All right, they're throwing cups at him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's standing in front of the fans, I guess.
Did you see that, though? Where's the pause? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the cups.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What? Saw it. You didn't see it.
No, I didn't see
it. All right, keep it on the goalkeeper.
Okay.
Right there.
They hit him?
He caught it. So somebody threw a bottle out. And he's taunting. He's like, come on, what are you doing? They're pouring beer, which, as everybody points out, it's like $25 beer everybody's throwing out there. Massive, giant fucking waste. But it's at the end of the game, so I guess they don't care. But yeah, somebody threw something, and he had cat-like reflexes and caught it.
Well, he's a goalkeeper.
Yes, that was pretty impressive. I thought it was pretty nice.
Well, they hate that guy, obviously. But I don't think we don't want to go to a place here where we're doing what they do when we go play Mexico in Mexico. Let's not throw bottles and beer out.
It's funny because there's a number of people that are posting that too, and they're like, like a lot of the Mexican fans were like, I was always told that this shit only happens when you play in Mexico, type thing.
Apparently not.
Nope.
It's new to me.
So just in case you missed it, because it took you a second viewing, here's a better view of it.
You were really focused on this.
This is fun. This is a fun little thing. He's like, come on, what you doing?
I mean, what if they hit security?
He could have. Wow, he says.
It's a water bottle. All right. It's soft. But good catch, number one.
Derek, I want you to go stand on the driveway, and from the roof of my house, I'm going to throw bottles at your head.
I would definitely catch it.
That's not my point. I'm just saying it's a bottle that's being flung at your head. It's not going to feel great. And I'm not saying you're going to get knocked out or killed, but it's not going to feel great.
I can tell you this: if you're that far away, I will catch it, as long as I can see it coming.
But I'm just you're standing in front of a giant stadium of people throwing shit at you, Derek. You're not. You could be looking over here. The bottle could come from over here.
Yeah, but if you've got good vision, you can see all of it. You can almost automatically see what's going to be left to you, right of you. Oh, that one's going to miss. That one's missing. That one's missing. Oh, that one. Got it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to piss on your parade here.
No, not the only reason I brought that up was I thought it was impressive that he caught a random bottle that was thrown at his head. Out of all the shit that was being thrown, the one that was going to hit him, he actually caught, which was fine. He's a goalkeeper. I understand he's supposed to be able to catch shit like that. Especially shit that's had him harder than that, but still, it's fun to watch.
I mean,
fun to watch in the sense that he's like, "Oh, you fuckers," you know.
I mean, if it was Nolan fucking Ryan throwing shit at him, then I'd be concerned.
Maybe it was Derek. You don't know that.
Pretty sure he's not a fan of LAFC.
True. I imagine he's probably. I would imagine an FC Dallas fan more so than anything.
He's got to be like 78 years old.
Or Houston. He's at Houston. Was he at Houston? Maybe he's a Houston.
He pitched at Houston, but he pitched at the Rangers most of his career. Yeah, Nolan Ryan still had
I'm lucky I knew that he was in Texas. Period.
I mean, he was pitched into his 40s.
Yeah,
and had a rocket of an arm, and didn't take, steroids. Different era. And was a tough motherfucker too. He once was charged by a guy charged to the mound with a bat. He just stood there. Fucking took the guy out, just decked him. All right.
As the guy swings, you take one broken rib and then he's in there. Bam, bam, right?
Well, the guy eventually dropped the bat right before he got to the mound, and that was his problem. He should have probably kept the bat.
Well, my guess is he probably dropped the bat because he didn't want charges of assault and battery.
Well, that too. But yeah, Nolan Wright kicked his ass. All right, what's this?
This is still talking about the Leagues Cup game.
I feel like there's too much Leagues Cup going on tonight.
Who cares?
Exactly.
No, I'm saying who cares if it's too much. I'm sorry, Derek. Are you upset that during Fluff Moment we have too much soccer content?
That's just Leagues Cup.
Sorry, Derek. My bad. Let me find some animal videos for you.
Isn't this
because you don't like my soccer content? That's okay.
Isn't this actually called Championes Cup?
Yes. But it's also called Leagues Cup.
Is it?
Yes.
Why do they need two names? Just pick one.
Why not? You're appealing to two different audiences here. Liga MX, and then you're talking about MLS.
Okay.
I don't know, Derek. I don't work for MLS.
It's too many meaningless games.
Oddly enough, when we get the Trundalo topic, that's basically what he says.
I agree with him.
Yeah. Obviously not happy about it. It's hard, man, when it comes down to a shootout. Anything can happen. We felt like we had the better chances, and having a goal called back the way that was feels just unfair, illegal. But we, I think, put ourselves in a good spot to win the match. So there's a lot of positives to take from it for sure, but sometimes that's football.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that call. To be honest, I'm still confused by it.
Real quick, I'm going to pause here because everybody's correcting me. It's not Leagues Cup, actually. It is, in fact, the champions of Liga MX versus the champions of MLS.
Yeah, Champions Cup.
Yeah.
Championes, or whatever it is in Spanish. Which is my second language, apparently. Polo Tapatio!
You still fucked it up, Derek. Hopefully you did that on purpose.
Pollo Tapatio! I'm trying.
Failing miserably.
The red cards as well. Just the refereeing tonight, was that played a part?
Yeah, I mean, it was terrible.
Obviously.
Both sides of the field, and these guys are more experienced than that. It needs to be better.
Bring this whole up because of the comment he makes here at the end.
The play goes on for 45 seconds, and then he says that the ball was rolling is just like, I mean, I don't know what to say besides getting fined for saying something bad, but he knows it's unacceptable, and when you have a cup on the line, he needs to get a fine for that too. He needs to be held accountable for.
So the whole reason, it's funny because he's acknowledging the fact that he's going to say something bad about the ref, and the reporter lobbied this one up. He's like, "This is a fine-worthy question here. Let's see how he handles this." He's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm going to get fined." But you know what? The ref should be fined too for making that call.
Well, something needs to happen. If it's an obvious error, then yes, there should be some repercussions for referees who make idiotic decisions that are obviously incorrect, and make it those things unfortunately do is make that referee look like he might be calling the game for one team over the other. And if they don't have repercussions from whatever referee association or whatever it is, that's what people are they're gonna think. Like, this guy had a bias against LAFC.
Well, it's just fascinating because if they don't have VAR in this, which is silly, they have the technology in the stadium. Why not utilize it? But the fact that they don't have it and they didn't use it for the red card earlier, how in the world do you possibly let the game go on for like 30, 40 seconds after the play was kicked in, or the ball was kicked, or the set piece was taken, to sit there and go back and say, yeah, the ball was rolling?
Could have been a sideline judge.
Seems a little strange.
That's kind of like offsides now, too. They let them play on and on and on.
They do that, but they do that for VAR purposes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anytime the VAR is not there, the offsides flags up.
Maybe they did have VAR. I never noticed last night. But then again, I wasn't paying much attention until the PKs. Oh, no, I started paying attention when Tillman came in. That's when I started paying attention.
Yeah.
All right, what's this?
This is Trendlow's comment as far as too many competitions in MLS given their roster.
Yeah.
So this is always a topic of concern, right? You start talking about the amount of money that the teams are investing in the team, but then you start throwing in random cups here. Here's this cup there. This is two champions playing each other. This is this and this. You know, it just seems like it's a little too much for some of the teams out there.
It's too much.
Not all the teams. My Chicago Fire don't have to worry about that.
I mean, I get what they're trying to do, right? But you already have Champions League. And now you got Leagues Cup, and now you got Champions Cup, and then you got
Open
this
Cup.
Yeah.
You get the league itself.
And it's not like these guys are getting paid. Like, I mean, the basic average player is getting paid. And that these teams are extremely deep because they're just not. You can't. There's like beyond the first 13 players on most MLS teams. I mean, for most of them, you're looking at a strain to start throwing on other subs. So you're looking at best teams in MLS are maybe 15 decent players deep. And after that, it falls off a cliff. Now, not all. There are teams that do have depth. They are still, it's not superior depth. It's not like mind-blowing depth. But, you know, it's youth depth. Like you talk about
That's
Philadelphia.
the thing, you're talking about bringing in somebody who's still relatively inexperienced, but young and talented enough that maybe the drop-off isn't as noticeable, or maybe it's an improvement, but
could be.
It's an improvement. It might be a future change. But yeah, as a whole, that's basically what Stevie here says, is there's just not enough. And you know what? He's talking about the owners and the other front offices and stuff like that. Apparently there's talk that they want more.
Oh, Jesus.
Not more in cups and shit, but more
situations,
more
right?
money,
CONCACAF, Leagues Cup,
resources.
US Open, whatever the case may be. What do you guys learn? This is the second time you guys are, seeing a team celebrate here. What are the learning lessons that you guys take to get that next step?
Well, through all the competitions we've been in this year, for any team who's going to do that next year, I can tell you the rules and regulations of MLS roster building are not ample enough, and we are not equipped enough for all these competitions. I think we have done an incredible job to stay in all competitions very late, but our guys are depleted.
Injuries.
Our stadium ops is
jinx.
tired. Everybody in the organization is tired. And look, maybe it's too many games, or we don't have enough people to cover all these games. And I think moving forward, to create a competitive advantage for MLS, I do think the owners and the commissioner and the rest of them league office need to sit down and come up with solutions, because status quo is not going to work. I do know that. And
well,
I can tell you that's the opinion of
it's either that, or you're going to do what a lot of the Premier League teams do, which is for certain cups that they don't think are very important, they just
US
play their
Open
fucking
Cup.
They just put, no, I'm talking Premier League clubs.
I know. I'm using a comparison of what we see here.
You just
see the first couple rounds of MLS teams just throwing in the reserves of the reserves at that
Just
point.
use your U21s. You know,
Might as well just bring up your MLS Next Pro team and just play them instead.
yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more of that going forward if this kind of schedule continues for MLS. It's too much.
Well, and it's a shame. I mean, you already had MLS, whatever, who was that shit on the U.S. Open? It was Don Garber, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because the irony there is that he's part of the U.S. board, U.S. soccer board.
Right,
So
and
he
he's
can
shot all
make the
over.
changes that he needs to. Maybe that's kind of his way of forcing change. But you have this competition that's over 100 years plus, old in the United States.
And he's saying it's irrelevant.
And well, most MLS teams are looking at it as if it's irrelevant. Most teams come out unless their first game happens to be against another MLS side. Most teams come out playing their reserves.
Yep.
Which is fine, but I mean, if they flame out, then all of a sudden MLS can't sit back and go, "Well, this competition's bullshit."
Yeah, I mean, listen, and the other problem is if you have so many different cups, leagues, tournaments, championes, but after a while, like you're having that problem of distinguishing one from the other. It's like, which one is this again?
I probably remember hearing about this cup or this match, not a cup even, but this match of what it is, but I completely forgot it. I just assumed it was like
No.
I assumed it was like the League's Cup finals or something.
No, we already did that one.
Yeah.
By the way, tonight I am again drinking a Golden Drac, one of the best beers, and the last one of my 4-pack.
Sounds like you're drinking piss.
I'm going to enjoy it. What? Golden Drac? It's not piss. Golden.
We spent about 10, 15 minutes at the beginning of the show talking about golden stuff being synonymous with urination.
I mean, golden is the word for golden in Belgium. So, Golden
Accept
Drac.
your apology, Derek. I know I'm right.
Golden Drac. So, anyhow, I think Drac must mean like dragon. Drac in Belgium. That's just a guess. Golden Dragon is the name of the beer. I think. If you want to translate it. Don't ask me. I don't know how
I
to
imagine.
speak.
Just, yeah.
Any of the languages in Belgium. Any of them. There's multiple.
I imagine that's similar to the word Drake, which is just another name for a dragon, more or less, like you said.
Right. I think they got multiple languages. They got French, in German in certain parts, Walloon, all kinds of weird languages there. I mean, not German. I understand. That's not weird. All right. Mike Ryan Ruiz. My 2023 season ticket plan was $6,000 for 2 seats. Almost 7,000. Yeah. The price they quoted to retain my seats is what? Almost 31 grand. This makes Inter Miami the most expensive soccer ticket in the world, with what I can only assume is the biggest year-over-year price increase ever. Outrageous. You could buy a car with that.
Derek, that's the Messi effect.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
No chance. There's going to be a lot of empty seats if that's the case.
Cancellation. That's what my button. I did cancellation immediately. I'd be like, fuck your tickets next season. Stuff them up your asshole and spin. Fuck that shit.
So sad. It's just sad. You're basically pricing out a population of people who may want to go see your team.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
No chance in hell. No chance in hell.
Hey, David Beckham. Hey, Golden Balls. Get involved. This can't happen. You can't do this to people.
You know what the issue is he was looking at Miami and he goes, well, there's like it's like 100,000 millionaires. I mean, if we raise the price, we just have to get 20,000 of them to show up.
Yeah, you'll have half a stadium that's empty, but hey, you'll bring in the cash, I guess. It's sad, but this is how our world is now. Nobody gives a fuck about the middle guy, the working class guy, the guy with, a hard job, works 40 hours a week, puts food on the table, etc., etc. Nobody cares about working class people. They're not important.
Damn near 3,500 for one season ticket seems excessive. So I'm curious where this ticket's at. and whether or not that'd be considered cheap in that stadium, or if
For
that's considered more like
fucking 30
a box
grand, those seats better be right on the fucking 50-yard line on the field. On the field.
I mean, I always like sitting up higher in soccer games so you see more of the field. I don't necessarily. It's not like basketball where you want front row, whatever tickets, or boxing where you want ringside tickets. You want to sit up a little higher so you can see the whole
I
field.
get that theoretically, but for this price, I want when the players run by, their sweat to hit me on the forehead.
Well, for this price, I want a box. I want a box, an entire box to myself that includes a happy ending at the end of every game.
That too. Right? And like, I want to be so close to the action, I can smell what they had for dinner. That's what I want, or lunch, whatever it is. Anyhow, that's a lot of money.
Oh no. BMR ruins the fun. And
Brett, did you read the follow-up tweets? He clarified the part of the price increase was a computer error. Okay. Thank God. Okay. BMR. Thank you for saving.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Jesus Christ.
He goes, but they did raise his tickets to like $15K, so double
That's
in
still
price.
A lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That's over double still. I mean, yes, that's better than 30,000, but still, come on.
That's a used car for my son, who just got his driver's license. Honestly,
this happened with everyone. Location, season ticket holders, open full price. That not only doubled their price, but doubled their seats.
All right. Well, that's good to have that clarified.
Oh, that's what the error is. So the ticket prices were doubling, but then the error also occurred by doubling the number of seats that they had. So if they only had one, then it would double it to two, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. 2 to 4.
Gotcha.
4 to 8.
Still, super fucked up increase.
All right. Okay. What do we got next? Can it not be MLS?
Well, I mean, we can come back to it. I got one more MLS for us. It's kind of U.S. men's national team. You know, Derek, this isn't MLS.
Okay,
this is U.S. men's national team.
Good.
You feel better about yourself now?
I don't know about myself. I feel better about you. All right. Rebs Extra. According to FIFA's eligibility rules, Carlos Gil will be eligible for the U.S. men's national team next year. Listen, this is like that discussion with Acosta in Cincinnati. I mean, the performances he is putting on have been amazing this season, but I'm not sure where Lucho and where Carlos Gil would fit in right now on the U.S. men's national. Whose position are they taking away? With
Gold Cup and
Gold Cup, I'm fine with, but both of those guys are attacking midfielders, right? For the most part. So I don't know where they would fit in on our team. Like, are you taking Reyna's job away? Because that ain't happening. Because neither of those guys play for fucking Dortmund. All right, or did. I mean, obviously Reyna's been injured, but
you really don't care where they used to play. You care about where they're playing now, given their age. That's a big factor.
Yeah, and their age. I mean, listen. They're both very good players. Don't get me wrong. They're some of the best players in MLS, both of them. But I don't know where they fit in with the current team. Like 10 years ago, we'd be drooling over those guys, right? Mm-hmm. But, I mean, with the set of people we've got playing where we've got right now, they would maybe make the bench.
Could you imagine if we threw them into our World Cup roster where our average age would have been? Oh, my God.
It would have lifted it.
I wouldn't have been able to watch the matches after hearing that age.
Yeah, I don't know.
I probably should have thrown this in with the Miami talk, but I didn't want to separate the MLS talk.
Okay.
So it's close enough.
FIFA is relocating its entire legal department from Switzerland to Miami. That's weird. The move will bring over 100 employees, including audit, compliance, and risk management teams. FIFA's new office will span 60,000 semifinals and Coral Gables. I don't know. I just made that up.
San Francisco's?
SF? Square feet. Okay. In Coral Gables. Miami's stock continues to rise. That's a weird move by FIFA. That is a really weird move. The legal department, though. Just the legal department.
That's a decent office for each one of those 100 people, though, man.
Is that because we're just good at audit and
roughly
risk management?
Roughly 20 by 30 office for each one of those members.
Will they be bringing the same staff, or are they hiring new employees that are all from Miami? I mean, I don't know what this means.
There you go. Yeah, Farrell did the actual numbers, but yeah, it's 600 square feet per person. Like I said, it's a nice 20 by 30 room, which is a master bedroom for most people, if not more.
I don't know why they're doing this, and I'd like to look into it. I'm going to look into this.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that's the legal team, because I was sitting there going like, man, if FIFA moved anything to the stateside, I mean, all of a sudden they're going to have to be subject to taxes, right?
Not state taxes. There are no state taxes in Florida.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Now, if Bill Archer were still actively writing today, he'd be all up the asshole of this move. He would know every fucking detail. He would know why it's happening. I should call Bill when we get off this show and find out if he still knows something. I know he isn't doing so much writing or anything anymore, and isn't really like, I mean, he's retired for the most part, right?
Yeah.
Sailing. Do. Go, you do you, Bill Archer. We love you, brother. But yeah, Bill would be all up in the grill of this thing. He'd know every detail about it. So
Joey says, damn, apartment-sized offices for everyone. Going back to the whole 600 square feet. Yeah, that's like a $1.2 million a condo or whatever. Over in California.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
I think I would guess, if I had to guess how big my office was, it'd be about 10 by 20 feet. So
my current office is no more than, say, maybe 10 by 10. I'm not in a massive office by any means.
Yeah, I'm like a 10 by 20. But I got a nice view.
But you got a window.
I got a nice view out the window. So I got trees. I'm on the 3rd floor. It's fucking great. Now
I got my own thermostat, Derek. I'm happy.
I don't have that. Now
that's all I want. It's like people walk into my room. They walk in from the hallway into my office. And like, oh my god, it's so cold in here. I'm like, I gotta actually go for a fan.
Yeah, I like it cold.
It's 68 degrees in my office. I want it colder.
So our building was built in 1953, and we still have the original air conditioned system. So I got this little thing to my left against the wall where I can adjust the heat or cooling, and it's like 1953 shit, dude. It's hilarious. It's built. It's glistens.
Oh, you got one of the wall coil old school things.
I mean, it's covered, so I don't know what's in that box that's against the wall.
Oh, never mind.
But it's got one of those little meters where you just turn it and shit. Those old school 1950s shit. Yeah, it's great.
During when we lived at the Right Quad back at IU, and the Right Quad was super old. It was like the last dorm to ever get renovated,
upgraded. Yeah,
and it renovated after we left, of course. But so you had the old school heating. Whatever those heating coils or whatever that usually sits up against the wall or whatever.
The big coils.
Yeah.
The ceramic coils.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they had one of those. And during the winter, when they turned the heat on everywhere in there, we couldn't turn the heat off in our room.
Yeah.
And of course, 2 18-year-old boys, what do you think we did?
Jerk each other off?
Yeah. No shirts on and everything, dude. Yeah, we opened up the window in the middle of January and put a box fan in it.
You asked the question.
I asked, yes, I asked the question. And you know what? You answered it, and I rolled with it, okay?
All right, my bad. Okay.
Derek, there's nothing you're going to say that I'm not going to be like, oh, Derek, what was that, Derek? Oh.
Okay, my bad. Next topic. All right.
All right, Derek. Enough of the serious topics. We sort of rolled off. Let's roll into some more fluff here, okay?
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? We're going to do some more fluff? We're an hour in. We probably should start covering the game.
No, Derek. We're an hour in, but we covered topics. We're actual, like, legit.
All right. I mean, those were soccer topics.
MLS.
Yes.
We talked about FIFA. Let's watch some soccer, okay?
All right.
I'm asking a lot. I mean, this is still soccer related.
It's 19 seconds. I can do it.
Yeah. I don't need the audio for that one.
Her music wasn't too bad.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, but he got it. He got it.
And finish, please. Oh, God.
It's just
a bit based on the names of the teams, PSO and PBI. It's got to be like the Indonesian league. Would be
watch him trip, though. Watch him trip. No foul, just a trip. But he still got the ball somehow. There had been a handball in there somewhere, but you know what? Doesn't matter. He missed.
Yeah, I see Indostar. I see. Yeah, I think this might be the
Aladdin.
Might be the.
This isn't Disney.
No, it's not. I would say might be the Indonesian league.
Okay.
More Singapore, but it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. All right. No, that's.
Bandit asks, goes, or he doesn't ask. He does ask. He goes, nothing like a good circle jerk, right, Brett? And I go, yeah, every Tuesday evening.
I'm sorry, Bandit, but two people cannot form a circle. That's just called jerking each other off. You need at least 4 people, I think, to form a legit circle. Right, Bandit? Wouldn't you agree? 2 people is not a circle. Yeah, 2 people jerking off in front of one another.
I mean, a circle requires everybody's both hands to be utilized, correct? So you at least need 3.
You do need 3, but that's sort of
you need.
It's a triangle. How? A circle requires it. I mean, a 4 is a square. 5 people's like a
5 or 6. Maybe? I don't know how that work out.
I don't know.
Well, we'll investigate. Don't you worry. We'll find out how many people create a circle jerk.
Yeah, I think it's over 6, but we'll look into it. Never been a part of one, so I don't know. I'll have to do some research.
So, Derek, we had an entire segment for like the longest time where we complained about Indy traffic.
Yeah,
and
I still could every day, but I'm not gonna.
I think in comparison to the rest of the world, I think we're kind of pussies when it comes to what we bitch about when it comes to traffic.
I'm not bitching about the traffic. I'm bitching about idiocy. 1,000 Ways to Die. This is going to be good.
What do you think is going to happen, Derek, before I play?
Big accident.
A big accident. By the cars in front, you think? Or do you think something's coming from behind?
I think there's going to be an accident in front, and then everybody slams on their brakes, and then they get hit in the ass.
It's possible. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Holy! Was that like a guts that just splattered? Holy shit! That looked like guts.
You're just minding your own business, going down I-200 here, and a giant boulder the size of your car takes you out.
Takes out the back end, thankfully for them.
I mean, that's a trunk. I mean, whatever, whoever they were carrying in their trunk at this point.
Oh, is that their dog there in the back that's dead on the back?
No, Derek, that's a license plate. It's a license plate, Derek. Look away.
That little thing on the bottom left looks. Oh, it is their license plate. Thank God.
That's just like a little bag.
Yeah, it's a license plate. No, you're right. The license plate drops off and falls there. So thank God.
So, I mean, dealing with an idiot who doesn't know how to do a roundabout once in a while, I'll take that over massive boulders crushing your car out of nowhere. I mean, it is raining. Yes, this is monsoon season in India, I'm assuming. And that boulder came a knocking.
Seems like that side of the road needs a fence. Just me.
Well, it took out 2 cars completely. I don't think a fence is going to do shit.
I mean, a really sturdy fence.
Made out of titanium, made out of aluminium. It's just that way.
Something sturdy, yes.
Something, I guess. But yeah, you take your chances during monsoon season, I guess, to go around mountainside of
Dude, yeah, that's just not cool.
Nagaland, Indiana.
It's
India, sorry.
Indiana.
Yeah, we don't have mountains like this in Indiana.
And we don't have a Nagaland either. All right.
Well, do we? I don't know.
We don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't. I don't even know what that means, Nagaland. All right, what do we got?
We
You
are
ready?
talking about close encounters of the dangerous kind.
Okay.
Tell me how quickly you would shit your pants after this happening.
Okay. Oh, it's a bear, huh? Oh, whoa.
You know this guy in the front goes, I can't believe that fucking worked, man. Yeah.
They're making that look way too easy.
Well, I mean, they're going, yeah, and then he chases after them. The bear's probably going like, these motherfuckers want to mount me. They want to ride me.
I don't know what the bear's thinking.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he might have just been extremely curious and wanted to get up there real quick to see what it was. I don't know if he was ever aggressive because he didn't seem aggressive. So I don't know.
He's going, hey, boo-boo, you got a picnic basket? No? Okay. Chill, man. Chill, man. Just chill.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought you were a salmon.
Yeah. I think that's scary, though. It's scary.
I think off in the distance probably are two cubs, and this is a mother bear saying, hey,
no,
hey, fuck off.
No, if there were two cubs, they'd be all fucking mauled. I think
Bear
so.
thought his camera was a hand cannon.
I think that might have helped him. Seriously, it might have helped him.
BMR says apparently black bears are pussies. That's not a black bear.
You're right. That's a grizzly.
That is a grizzly.
Yep, that's a grizzly.
And it's like, if you run, you die. Well, I mean, it depends on how whoever the slowest one is. I mean,
someone's gonna die, but yeah.
Well, you might trip grandma over there.
You might throw grandma down. Just say have her.
Here's what I want. I want one of those scenarios where there's some asshole and there's like, all I gotta do is trip this fucker, and he trips him, and the bear's like, oh, that motherfucker just tripped him. I'm gonna get his ass.
Nah, bears aren't that smart. They just want
to.
I
don't disagree with you on that, Derek. I mean, I'm sure the bear's not thinking like that. He's probably thinking, oh, look at this salmon that washed up on the shore. This is a weird looking salmon, but I'm going to eat him anyways.
Yeah, I don't think they think that either because salmon don't walk and they're not 6 foot long.
They're just offshore. They could have been caught up on low tide.
There's some walking ass salmon. I don't think so. All right.
You missed it. They're actually doing this earlier, so.
That's a part of their sort of a circle jerk thing they were doing there. Circle jerk dance. All right.
Last bit of fluff here, I think. Yes, last bit of fluff.
Holy Christ. All right.
Derek, these are all soccer related. I don't know what you're bitching about.
I know, but we're an hour and 8 in.
We'll get to the topics. Hold your horses.
All right.
There's nothing really built up. I don't know anything for this. I don't know what the fuck this is about, but this is something.
7 seconds.
Yes.
Damn.
He's pissed off and he bounced the ball. Fuckers.
It's well done. It's Polish teams. A couple Polish teams. Dude, with as light as the balls are these days, he probably didn't even know it even hit his head.
No, but that's that. Derek, you've been pissed off before and maybe like kicked something and it bounced off something and hit you or something like that. You did something stupid. How does that make you feel?
You know, I don't ever remember being so mad. The maddest I ever got is I was playing golf when I was like 17 years old, 16 probably. And dude, I missed like a 2-foot putt. And so I was pissed and I took my putter and I went way back like this and I was going to smash the ball. But the funny thing is, as I came through my fall through and hit the ball 1,000 miles per hour, rocketed this thing. It hit the flag and went in.
And my brother, you giggle your ass off at that.
Oh, my brother was giggling. He was laughing his ass off. I was still pissed off. Golf is the most frustrating sport ever invented by humans.
Maybe what it is you miss that putt and you go to slam that ball 100 miles an hour and you clip your ankle instead.
Well,
I mean, I understand that this is a light ball, but this is kind of just like add salt to it. When you're already pissed off, you slam this ball into the ground, it flies up in the air, and you walk, and it lands on your head.
There was a time when the graphite racket in tennis was created that, I didn't slam my racket down, but occasionally I turn it over and I go bing like that, and I catch the handle right as it came back up. Get ready for that. One time I did a bing, and it must have hit a rock, and the handle went bam right in my forehead. So that's about the worst I've ever done from a thing of anger. It didn't hurt. It was just a wake-up call. But no, I've never had anything like that happen.
I've got to say, looking at this, it took me a while to sit here and look at this and say, is this just a kind of like a capture of a video game here?
Yeah, because his face
fake look going on right now.
Yeah, it does. It looks very much like a video game.
I mean, it looks like it's like almost like you'd expect at a halftime or end of game after a team didn't play well, and you have this cutscene of them walking off.
But that might be giving too much credit to FIFA, so I don't want to do that because fuck them.
Then you actually heard the announcers laughing in the background, and then it goes to that, and I'm like, okay, no, that's a real thing. But still,
yeah.
I mean, it was like that didn't look real at first.
Not at first. All right, I think we're heading towards real soccer material here.
Well, they've all been real soccer material, Dave.
Sort of.
Let's talk about some U.S. soccer here.
Don't think that salmon thing was real. All right. U.S. Soccer and Ticketmaster announced multi-year partnership to drive ticketing innovation. Oh, whenever they use the word innovation, look out. Look out. Because innovation just means you're going to get fucked in the ass. That's all that means. I'm sorry, but for some reason, all I'm hearing is ka-ching. A sudden loss in weight in my wallet. Exactly, Brett. Exactly.
I didn't hear a word you just said. That's all I heard.
As soon as they throw out a word like innovation, just bend over, grab your ankles, spread your fucking butt cheeks, and get ready to take it. Because that's what that shit means.
I'm just wondering what other type of special fee is Ticketmaster going to lump onto the ticket price? Because I worked with Ticketmaster long enough to know. And all of a sudden you start getting all these people like, hey, the ticket price is $20. Why am I spending $35? Well, Ticketmaster has this fee and that fee and this fee and yeah.
Don't trust it.
So it's $20, but you're paying $15 more in fees. So sucks to be you.
Yeah. So don't trust it. Whenever they start saying ticketing innovation, that's just another word of their innovating to fuck your asshole. That's what that means. All right.
It's a federation fee.
Yeah. And you don't
innovation like a $30,000 ticket or season ticket.
Right. With no lube offered.
It's one of those things. I wonder if Inter Miami actually started sending out those 30,000s. They started getting kickback, and they're like, we're just kidding. There's an error. There's an error in the system. It's actually going to be this price instead.
You wonder some days, dude, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to believe it's incompetency sometimes because it's so appalling otherwise. You're like,
I almost just wonder
surely
if it's them trying to get away with what they can get away with.
Surely it goes like back to like our establishment, everything establishment, all things foundational and elite and powerful. Yeah, they're all trying to fuck you in the ass. Do not pretend they aren't. That's their fucking job. That's what they're getting paid for. And so when they use words like innovation, or when Greg used words like leadership, beware. Buyer beware. So
and verticality and all that shit.
Verticality.
All those buzzwords.
It's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary term. Really is.
Yeah.
Carlos Danger. What a name. You should have a movie.
Danger is my middle name.
I mean, like 20 years ago, you could have a show on like the, what was the Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
But now they're not going to do anything that has like Carlos Danger. That's too risque. on Nickelodeon now. Right? That's
Yeah.
too much agitation and conflict. Oh
Yeah.
my God, Carlos, danger? We can't have our kids watching anything that might relate to danger. Shit, these guys deserve more views than they get by far. Just thank Jesus they are still around week after work. Thank you, Carlos. Man, you should have your own show. You should. With that kind of name, you should have your own show.
Let's do it.
Or at least a band, the Carlos Danger Band. That's a badass band. You just know it would be. I don't know what you play, but you know, it's the name Anthony Weiner uses sex at 50. Are you serious? Oh my God. Well, Anthony Weiner is one of the slimiest pieces of shit that ever roamed the earth. That's for sure. That's for sure. Man, that guy is disgusting. He's disgusting. I mean, listen, how do the Clintons know anyone who isn't disgusting? Seriously, that's a question. I voted for that guy twice, Bill Clinton. Do they know?
I think meant Weiner.
Well, no, the Wieners, the Clintons were very close friends. Very close. In fact, Weiner's wife was Hillary's campaign manager. So there you go. Yeah.
Is her name Gobble?
Who?
Was her name Gobble?
No.
Slurp?
Gobble Weiner?
Inhale?
I don't know what her name was. I can't remember because it's insignificant and unimportant.
No, I think Anthony Weiner was using the name Carlos Danger because he felt that that's less offensive than if he was tweeting as Anthony Weiner.
I mean, yeah, I get it. Having a name like Weiner online is probably a warning sign to others. But, I mean, his fixation on his penis and having young women watch it, it's just weird. It's just fucking weird. I'm sorry. All right. Anyhow, well, let's move on before I get any more in depth about
everybody's taking my wife name for Mrs. Weiner and giving me actual legit comments.
Huma is fucking hottest as fuck. Is that her name? Huma? Huma Abadal. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yep. They're divorced now, I believe. Well,
yeah,
obviously.
Sexting your Anthony Weiner to everyone is
you got a hot wife and you got to go do that. I guess. I mean, some people just got a thing. You know, I think Louis C.K. said that, right? It must be good. Not for you and me, but it must be so good because they do it and they know it's wrong. And they know they might go to jail and they might get publicly embarrassed, but it must be so good for them, not for us, because we don't think that way, that they do that. That's weird shit. All right. What do we got? We on to the show?
We've been on the show for like an hour and 18 minutes, Joe. Come on.
You don't have to remind me. All right. So again, we come back to our little pyramid, if you will. Even though it's shaped like
our American
square.
Grading scale.
The American grading scale. Let's go over midweek, right? Let's start there. Let's start with Pulisic and Musa. And I was writing you, I was texting you when I was watching the beginning of that AC Milan match, right? And I was like, Pulisic's ghosting. Where the fuck is he? He's not getting any touches. He's not getting involved in the game versus Cagliari. And then he did. And then he had some moments. I thought I would give him a B. He contributed here and there, but he was too.
I mean, he was instrumental on the first goal. His cross should have been saved, but it wasn't, and it resulted in a goal. And he also got the assist on the second goal, although that was the pass back and then a fabulous shot by Loftus-Cheek.
Right,
but still, it's an assist, and that's all we care about.
So I might move him up to made a positive difference.
I'm fine saying BB
plus, somewhere around there. Yeah. I think that's fine. I think he got better, and he made, when he finally did get to touch the ball, he did some things, which is good. Musa came on, and I thought he was, you know what? He's solid. I think he's going to win the starting role there eventually.
He's got a lot of the AC Milan fans rooting for him right now.
I know. I mean, in his short 30 minutes, he did contribute here and there. And they were significant enough moments where you think, oh, yeah, that's always horrible when you take a donkey punch.
He took a donkey punch, yeah. And apparently there was no card, or no red card at least for that. And that was an obvious red card worthy foul.
It seemed it, but I don't think there was.
I literally got behind him and he goes, clock.
Yeah.
Come on.
He was fine though. He got up, so we're all good. But I think we're going to start seeing We're going to start seeing some games where they're both consistently starting together. And I know that there's going to be a rotation on this team. You can already start to see it, especially between Pulisic and the other two wingers, whose names escape me all of a sudden. Anyhow, the point being that I think he's going to try to keep that group fresh. So we will see. Was it Chikwueze and who's the other guy? God damn it, forgot his name. Anyhow, but it was cool to see Pulisic, kind of get to move around quite a bit and eventually get into the game. But the first part of the game was very frustrating, where he was just not there. He just wasn't in the game.
And before we bounce on to the next midweek game here or performance, if I recall correctly, Dortmund did not have a midweek game, right?
No.
Okay. So
not yet.
Thought, like at this point, midweek's
it's
over.
Past midweek.
It's gonna be the weekend.
Right.
But so I want to bring up Gio because there's a lot of Gio talk going around on the Twitter sphere. And the only connection I'm bringing up here was the rumor that AC Milan was interested in vying for his services.
Yeah, sure.
So I wanted to bring this up real quick.
All right. Fabrizio Romano, 2 men in Blazers. And what's a realistic possibility for Gio Reyna. I think he needs an opportunity like a different environment where he could be an important, crucial player for the squad, to feel some responsibility. I think this is what he needs, and he knows that. It has to be the next step. Maybe something in England. I think that could be perfect for him. Something like Brentford or Brighton. Certainly Brighton. I mean, that team's pretty good. That kind of opportunity where managers play offensive and quality football, and he's absolutely perfect. Okay. If he's going to take major responsibility at this, he says some. I think whenever you step on the field, you're taking some responsibility. So this is a meaning. Oh, that part of it is meaningless to me. If you're going to say feel some responsibility, every player, if you're Reyna and you step on playing for Dortmund, you're going to feel some responsibility for your play and the quality of your play. So if you're asking him to take a more major role of responsibility, then he's going to have to move to a smaller club than Dortmund. Period. And Brighton ain't what I would call a smaller club. I mean, traditionally, historically, they are. But Brighton right now in the Premier League is one of the better clubs in the Premier League. And I don't think he just jumps into Brighton and is all of a sudden like one of the major players on that team. I think it would take him a while to adjust to the physicality of England and just a total life change in general. And I think Brighton are pretty comfortable with the starting 11 they generally have. Might be different with Brentford. Might be different there. I'll give you that. But altogether, I'm not sure what this quote really means to me, Brett.
Ultimately, with this, ignore the word salad that is this quote.
Yes.
And his entire point to this is that maybe he needs a change of scenery. He needs because here's the thing. When he was getting back from before his year-long injury, the hamstring issue, not the busted up leg thanks to Canada issue, but before he pulled his hamstring, playing for the United States, he was a consistent starter for an entire year. Then he pulled his hammy, who's out for a year, came back. He played for half a year as a bit player for a Dortmund team that was vying for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Dortmund loses a couple of players, especially in the midfield. It just depends, I guess, where Dortmund sees they're playing Reyna. And now he's got another injury that he's recovering from. He's about to take the field again at this point.
We hope.
Hopefully. He's on the 18 at this point.
But that's two games now, right?
Sure. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying
give him 10 minutes.
Well, if he doesn't get any playing time by Christmas, let's just say, then Dortmund should absolutely be looking to offload him. Because what's the fucking point at that point? If you're going,
they're dumbasses if they do that, because they could sell him for a lot more money if they play him 20 minutes, 30 minutes a game, and have him scoring goals again.
Yeah,
game after game after game in the last 10 minutes.
So, again, ultimately, he might find himself this season in the same boat that he was in last season. Maybe he'll work his way back up to a starting role. But that's what everyone's like. Maybe he needs to get out of Dortmund. Maybe he needs to go to a new club that's interested in his services and go from there. And, of course, that's going to require Dortmund to get a fee that they think is worthy of a player that they had a lot of interest in keeping for long term at one point.
Right. You know,
and people keep throwing out. Goal.com had this great article talking about how Dortmund were looking to offload him over the summer for 20 mil. And he broke his leg, and then nothing came to fruition. But they talked about how he's prone to injuries. He's easily injured. I'm like, this is the most tiring topic ever. When they talk about he's prone to injury, like he had a hammy injury that took a long chunk of his career out. But this last injury, some Canadian threw his studs into his shin and broke his leg.
Right.
It's not like I pulled another hammy, or I got a muscle, or I just got a tattoo and I can't play today.
Yeah. It's not like he pulled a left testicle.
Yeah.
And I just think that, this injury was not caused by some sort of lack of training, lack of whatever
warming up, whatever. You know? Yeah.
So he's going to leave Dortmund. I was thinking Dortmund would be smart and play him as much as they possibly can this season to sell him at the highest fee they can possibly sell him at.
I wonder how many more years he actually has at Dortmund. I feel like they've got to either be looking to re-sign him or offload him, but that would require offloading him would require to actually play him. They can't necessarily just rely on his performances with the U.S. men's national team, which was doing well enough in the summer for the Canadian team.
But here we go with 29 saying Milan isn't one of the teams that has reached out to his camp. So are you asking me, do I believe Diego on this particular thing? I would say, yeah, I probably would, based on who I know he knows.
Well,
right?
obviously he knows the players, but he also knows
i.e. Wasserman.
Yeah, he knows the agents. Where would the benefit towards Gio be for Wasserman to say, AC Milan's never expressed any interest? Because that would be something if AC Milan, shot over an email and said, hey, would Gio be interested in playing in Serie A? Wasserman would absolutely jump on top of that just to try to drive up his value.
I don't really know where he fits in with a team like Milan. What he really needs to do is find a place that plays a 4-2-3-1 that plays an actual CAM. I don't know where you find that team that is a perfect fit for you, but that's the kind of manager he should be striving to play for.
And when he plays with Dortmund, he kind of takes that political for the United States team, where he has the ability to roam, check into the middle, and he kind of plays that arguably that kind of a 10 role anyways. He doesn't play out wide all that often. So it works there, but the problem is that he needs to get playing time. And the problem is he also has some decent competition in those spots with him right now.
Yeah,
and that's challenging. So if he's looking long term, he might say, "Well, I'm going to put in my time. I'll re-sign with Dortmund, and I'll put in my time and continue playing."
I mean, the best Reyna we ever saw was when Holland was there.
Sure.
And that partnership was
Bellingham too. Yeah.
Yep, fabulous. So, going back to those days made you think, if you were AC Milan or you were a top Premier League team or even a middle of the road Premier League team, this is a guy I want to sign. Now, some of these teams probably are looking at him and going, God damn, look at that injury history. And that's too bad because, as you pointed out, the last one had nothing to do with his workout schedule, his fitness, or anything like that. It's not a hammy. Somebody fucking raked him. So there you go.
I feel like most clubs would look and say like, "Ooh, that hammy, that was a long injury." But this one over here, he got karate chopped. That's what the injury report says. He was karate chopped in the leg, right? He broke it. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, if I were Mönchengladbach, I would certainly take Reyna on loan for the rest of the season.
Here's a prime example because I brought up Dan's comment here. And he does talk. Because my suggestion for half a year loan is he needs playing minutes and a lot of it. He hasn't played a 90-minute match in 2 years for his club. Basically, he brings up playing in Holland or Belgium because he's talking about guaranteed. Dan's talking about guaranteed playing time for Reyna for half a year.
That'd be like Stuttgart, definitely Gladbach. Yeah, I mean, there are options in Germany for sure who would take him. I wouldn't take a loan in England.
No, but do you think there'd be a lot of people vying for a 6-month loan for that second half of the season?
Yeah, if you're Gladbach, you are because you're in trouble. You're in trouble. The other guy that would
sell his house, he just buy out of his lease. He just further over this way instead.
I'd love to see him on Hoffenheim. Yeah, I don't know where Matarazzo would play him. That's the problem there. But Ajax need help. No shit, Casanova.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, I've never seen Ajax this low in the table, this deep into the season.
I know we're only talking about a handful of games and whatnot. But yeah, still.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Uncharacteristically bad.
It's crazy to see them. Maybe they should have bought Pepe because obviously, PSV aren't using him.
Maybe they should have brought back Dest. They need to stop leaking goals.
And of course, Dest didn't play this.
A defensive juggernaut by any means, but still.
Yeah, Dest is injured, so he didn't play this midweek. But okay. So that was that. Robinson and Ream played this week as well, but they came off the bench because it was cup game.
I got a Robinson thing for you. Go ahead and talk about the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they both played fine. They just came in to close the game out. Robinson went 20. Ream went 7. They're just thrown in there to close the game out, and that's what they did. So, by the way, Gooch went 90 for Stoke in a loss. So I've thrown that in there. I'll get to Pepe and Tillman next. You're going to bring up Jedi's roster?
This is Jedi's starting 11 for the U.S., or his starting 11.
It's a fucking fabulous starting 11.
He's got Turner. He's got Jedi out left, of course. So why not? Richards, CCV, Dest, McKinney, Reyna, Adams, Pulisic, Balogun, Weah.
The only complaint I might have is that it's not a 4-2-3-1. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Reyna in a more advanced role.
Well, this could just literally you punch in 4-3-3, and this is what it comes up as. But I mean, you do kind of have it anchored in the way that you would imagine a 4-2-3-1 would look to an extent.
Kind of, yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah, to an extent, but not totally.
BMR wants to know where's Aaron Long. He's busy doing circles in the Tigres match.
It's that, or his head's up a rhino's ass.
Dude,
either way.
That red, they got that red card in that match. I mean, that was because he got spun like a top.
But this is great. Other people will say, okay, I'll take Musa over Adams. I'm fine with that too. We've already discussed that on this show multiple times. Mm-hmm. If we do play a 4-2-3-1, Adams, Musa, and McKinney can't all be on the field at the same time. Unless you give McKinney Weah's job. Because McKinney seems to be better at Weah's job as a wingback at Juventus than Weah is.
Although it's funny that he did his teammate dirty and having CCV over Ream. That is CCV, right? The picture's so shoddy. I'm like looking around. I'm like, that's CCV.
It's odd because he is really good friends with Richards and CCV. They're close buddies with him when the national team gets together. So could be a little favoritism there, but I am shocked that he fucked over Reem like that.
Reem's sitting there going like, you motherfucker. I'm playing Tolkien over you now.
What you doing, man? But you know what? It could be about the ratings, the FIFA rankings too, and how they're weighted.
Somebody mentioned that Six Zappy Beef says Reem's FIFA ratings are so bad.
Yeah, it's bullshit. We talked about that in a show before. The ratings for the national team is like a fucking 5-year-old nitwit came up with them because Jesus is rated better than McKennie or as good as McKennie and better than Pepe.
Christian Roldan is too. He's like, I think maybe 1 point behind McKennie.
Yeah, it's atrocious. It's so unrealistic. They might as well be laughed off the stage. If they came to me with those numbers and said, hey, if I worked for them, let's say I worked at EA Sports and said, here's what we got for the national team. And here's how I'd imagine it. It would be said, here's what we have for the national team for your country. Can you review, please? I would say, you are fucking idiots. What are you watching? What games are you watching? You pay attention?
People was paid off by MLS. Hey, make our guys better.
Who makes EA, the game at EA? What company? Do we know specifically? Because they always farm it off to like a smaller.
I think it's just made by EA.
Yeah. Well, who owns that?
Don't know. Sony. Sure, let's go with Sony.
Sony. So are the developers of the game Japanese?
I'm just going to take a look here. Electronic Arts is owned. It's founded in California, so it's American. It's American.
Well, those aren't Americans doing the ratings because they apparently have never watched half of the players on our team.
Yeah,
and have no idea what their skill set is. So anyhow, Pepe and Tillman played. Pepe did get 13. He blew. Oh my God, Brett! He blew.
I saw it. Yeah,
sitter.
He didn't blow a sitter. He just didn't get it off because he twiddled his thumbs and got dispossessed.
He dilly-daddled.
Yeah, that's a better way of wording it.
Yeah.
I got a picture for Tillman's phone here, though.
What the hell is that?
It's all the alarms Tillman set to make sure he wasn't late to the game.
Good for you, Tillman. Well, he did show up and he got 22 minutes, and I thought he played pretty well. My feeling was watching the game is that he's going to get more playing time going forward. More playing time, possibly, than Pepe, but not as much as Dest. But I think the coach likes Tillman a lot. I think he fits into that team well, and his time this midweek in that game was pretty goddamn good. I could find little fault and little wrong with what he did. We already talked about Luca de la Torre, and he went 68, got that ridiculous, stupid red card. That was not a red. It was a yellow card, the second yellow card. It was not a yellow card. He basically ran in front of a guy, his back to the dude who was kicking a ball. And the dude kicked the ball and then kicked Luca de la Torre in the ass. And Luca de la Torre got a foul for him being kicked in the ass. Or whatever part of the body it was. The side, the ass, the hip, whatever. It was ridiculous. That's one of the worst yellow cards I've ever fucking seen. And they were up 1-0. And that yellow card cost the team. They ended up tying 1-1 against one of the worst teams in La Liga. That's going to hurt Celta going on because they're at the bottom of the table, just above the top 3, just like last year. Here we go again. Now, they've got to find some way of getting Aspas going up top. That is a great player. That is a great fucking forward. But somehow, when you play a 5-4-1, which is super defensive, you're not going to get a whole lot, as many chances. You're not going to get a lot. You would think against a shittier team, they would have played a different formation, something a little more aggressive. Nope, 5-4-1. I don't know. Doesn't seem to make sense to me. But hey, it's Rafa, right? It's Rafa Benitez. I do respect the guy. I respect his career. I respect that he loves himself some Luca de la Torre. And then, of course, he said Luca de la Torre is a great player. We love him. We're going to start him at center midfield,
Yeah.
but he needs to be more aggressive. Well, there you go. He got a red card.
I think Rafa's in there and go, Luca. And Luca looks over and goes, no, Luca, look the other way. I don't want to look at your face when I'm talking to you right now. Come on.
That's
Come on.
from the weekend.
Oh, my God.
He doesn't look that bad now.
Tell the missus to take it easy on you. We need you good.
Even when his nose heals, he should still wear that mask. I'm telling you right now. His nose and his eye all heal. He needs to continue wearing that mask, because one thing I love about him wearing that mask when I'm watching them play,
You can find him.
it's easy to find him. And it's even easier now because he's basically the quarterback of the team. He plays center midfielder, right? And he runs the show from the midfield. But it's easy to find him. Yeah, I like him wearing the mask. Please continue to wear the mask.
And that's what he was doing against Uzbekistan before he took an elbow to the face, right? It was an elbow, right? Yeah.
Right. Yep. And he was great in that game. And when he came off, when he came back off the game versus the Uzbeks, it was obviously we fell off a cliff.
Well, Tessman definitely didn't help the situation. And it was a bad performance on his part. Not what you want from a debut by any means. Although I'm sure he's kind of hoping not to just get thrusted in 10 minutes before the half ends. And nobody
wants to be suddenly thrusted in.
So I feel like we talked about this obviously after the game, but his second half was better, but it still wasn't great.
The shock of being suddenly thrusted in, as you know from your experience with EB, is a little disconcerting, right? It's better if you have some warning, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they tell you in order to get used to stuff like that, though, Derek, is to take cold showers, because the initial shock of the cold shower is similar to getting it shoved right up, whatever.
We're anyhow. And a little,
you're on YouTube, guys.
and a lube, and the lube helps too. All right. Mackenzie did not dress. I'm guessing he's injured. Mihailovic.
Derek,
wow.
Holy hell. Look at this.
I don't know what they're doing, but not only was Mihailovic benched and in the 18 and then play again for Aze, he was listed at the bottom of the roster, like the bottom.
Like they threw him on because they had one extra injured player.
I mean, and we've been telling you this, people, and you can have your own. Obviously, you're going to have your own opinion about it, but this is not boding well for Mihailovic going forward. He is probably going to have to leave in the summer, or excuse me, in the winter, because he is not going to play for this team. He's done. He got his chances. He got his starts. He got his minutes, and he played like a little pussy. And if you play like a little pussy, you're not going to play for Aze much. He didn't take the bull by the horns. He didn't take the carriage by the reins, the horse by the reins. He didn't do any of that. He played like a passive little bitch. And when you do that, and you don't fucking go in there and say, this is my shit, I'm taking it over, I'm going to be a star on this team, and you go in instead and say, I'm going to be a part of this team, I'm going to play my role, I'm not going to make any big mistakes. That's what he went into this with, that attitude.
Yeah.
And when you go into it with that attitude, you're done. This is your big fucking chance. Take it by the horns. Don't be intimidated. Take that positive attitude from Montreal, go to fucking, Holland, and make a name for yourself. But that's not what he did. He came in and said, I'm going to be a role player. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to pass it off here, pass it off there. I'm not going to take any risks. I'm not going to take any goddamn one-on-ones and pass somebody. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm not going to be demanding the ball. And when you do that, you're done. You're done. You're done. So what's this? 4 straight did not plays for Mihailovic. Came out of MLS as one of the best players in the league, but a struggle to assert. Good point. Assert is what I would have said too. There is a total lack of anybody in his brain asserting anything. Himself on a good Aze side. Might need to seek a loan. Yeah, I'd say so. Back to some sort of fluffy team. that doesn't want anyone aggressive because he's not. And he doesn't know what being assertive is. Now, how you can be assertive in Montreal and understand that that's what needs to be done in order to produce for your team, to shrink, to be a shrinking violet since the beginning for that team. And I've been saying it since he got there, Brett. Every game we have said this, we've reviewed. Take things by the balls, my friend. I wonder if Jordy's MLS form was more Wilfred Nancy than him. I mean, I don't think so, man. I think he was the man at Montreal. They told him he was the man. He played like he was the dude, right? That dude.
Yeah. Henri went out and spent 1 million TAM and GAM on him.
I mean, you're paying him like he's that dude. He better play like that dude. But he's gone to Europe and he's played like that vagina. No offense to vaginas. Let me take that back. He's played like a wussy, which is
limp
similar.
Dick.
Similar.
Let's stick to our own sex.
Limp dick. Yeah. He's not. Yeah. All right. We've seen this before. He's not the first player to shrink from a challenge. He's not. There are others. There are different ways of looking at this. It's not that Aronson shrinks from a challenge, for instance.
He usually takes a challenge, just falls over.
Yes. He's not shrinking. Aronson goes out there and busts his fucking little tiny nutsack every time he goes out and plays. The problem with Aronson is that he doesn't know how to involve himself in critical fucking moments of a game. He usually falls apart, plays the wrong pass, doesn't find the right pass, and it's generally ineffective outside of running a lot. And that's going to cost him at Union Berlin this season. And I don't think he's going to be a starter for the majority of the season. I think he's going to be a bench guy. And that's unfortunate, but he's done it to himself. He's done it to himself by not focusing on the things that he's not good at, like fucking shooting a ball.
Hey, he's working on that. He's working on that. I've noticed a couple times he shot the ball.
Dude, he had a fucking sitter on top of the box in the last game last weekend. And he hit it like a fucking mile over the goal. His brother would have put that on net. Let me just say that.
Derek, I think you're forgetting this play.
Yeah, I didn't forget it, Brett. Not everyone's going to part like a whore in Vegas and let you in. All right? That's not how it happens.
Come on.
Because that's their job. It's legal in that state.
I'll say as far as him shooting the ball, I'm seeing more of it now. I feel like he's taking the criticism, and maybe somebody pointed it out to him and said, "Hey,
he's been working on it.
You need to shoot the ball," and he does. And I know Larry's come out a number of times and talked about how a number of our players probably refrain from shooting because they don't have a power behind their shot, and that's definitely something with Aronson, is that he just doesn't have a lot of power behind his shot.
Okay, Messi doesn't have like goddamn major power behind his shots, but you know what he does have? Accuracy. Fucking accuracy. So I'm not saying he needs to be fucking
we're talking apples and oranges.
Hold on. I'm not saying he needs to be fucking Messi. What I'm saying is learn.
His wife would be awfully pissed if that was the case.
Don't try so hard. Don't hit it so goddamn hard next time. Hit it in the right spot. And hit it moderately hard or medium hard.
There's still enough power behind Messi's shots. He's placing it, yes, but he's not lacing him like hardcore.
No.
It's not like Loftus-Cheek's shot with AC Milan, but he's still putting power behind his shot.
It's not Jeff Cameron taking a set piece. I don't know if you ever heard about that guy. But fucking you would not want to be.
I know who Jeff Cameron is, yes.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to be in a wall when he's taking the set piece because he's fucking hammering that with his laces and low, like about chest level, right? Where it's going to hit you in the chin, bounce off your chin, hit you in the chest. Yeah, that's fucking. So nobody wanted to stand in front of that guy in practice, from what I heard. When he was fucking taking set pieces. All right. Also, Cardoso went 45. he didn't look completely fit. He's back from injury. He went 45. I'm told he did not look completely fit, and they pulled him at halftime. EPB finally got – so EPB starts for Panathinaikos. A game they won 4-1. They yank him at halftime. Didn't seem to be any noticeable from injury from any of the reports I saw. So I hope that's not like, okay, you're not fit, so we're just going to play you 45. Or is it since the goal by the opponent was early in the game?
What day was that?
I believe it was today. If the goal was his fault, then they yanked him at halftime because the goal was his fault. But I would hope that's not the case. I don't know. You can't really watch the Greek league. So
pulling up Foot Mob, just take a look.
Anyhow, Maurice Malone, while you do that, was in the 18 for Basel, did not play. And then some MLS highlights. Quinn Sullivan got a goal for Philadelphia. Ben White. Who did I say, Brett? Who did I say?
Mr. White.
Ben White is on this fucking list every week. Ben White for Vancouver. Another goal. Every fucking week this kid's on here. So we can continue to talk about Vasquez from Cincinnati. But I tell you, he's got on the hot streak right now. And that is Ben fucking White. He is on a hot fucking MLS streak. That sounds like Gold Cup call-up for me. By the way, Berhalter's son.
We have an extra year after this. I mean, the Gold Cup call-up is like not this summer, but the next summer.
I know. But if Ben White keeps showing up on my list every week, scoring goals, then he got to be on that Gold Cup team.
I'm just saying, a year and a half from now, results for this season will mean little to nothing. Now, mind you, if he's still scoring or he's playing somewhere else and still scoring, yes. I think the best thing to look at would be, well, hey, Camp Cupcake's right around the corner. He should be included there.
Yes. No, I'm not. Listen, no one can say what's going to happen that far in advance. Ben White could be eaten by an alligator in Florida somewhere. All right? So we don't know.
Actually, I saved it for another show, though.
He could be swallowed by one of fucking Breck Shea's boa constrictors.
Oh, everybody's calling it. It's Brian White, by the way.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Ben White.
God damn it. It is Brian. I've been saying Ben.
The first one.
God.
Brian White? Brian White?
It's Brian White. I said Vancouver, people. Christ almighty. All right. So obviously I was just being an idiot, but it's Brian White.
Eric Palmer Brown had a 6.3 for the match. Mind you, that's the second lowest score for the team. Outside of the goalkeeper had a 6.7, oddly enough. And their striker had a 6.2.
But it's Foot Mob.
It is Foot Mob, you're right.
It's just hard to trust, right?
Sure. And I'm just saying, if you're looking at a team that has great ratings, except for the guy who got pulled at halftime, then it's probably safe to assume that he
fucked up.
Fucked up, yeah.
It's really his first true start for the team. Listen, I like Eric Palmer Brown. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a super great kid. But he ain't making this U.S. soccer team going forward. Listen, you don't move to
where
Greece.
He's playing now. Even if he was starting there, he wouldn't be making it.
Right. It's Greece. Greece is the word.
Greece lightning.
No, Greece is the word, I believe, is the song in the movie Greece. No, in the movie Greece. Greece is the word is the word, the word. You got moo, boo, 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 boo. Maybe that's a disco song. Anyhow, Greece is the word. I think maybe it's not in the movie. Anyhow, Bassett got a goal for the Rapids. Dorsey got a goal.
It's a Frankie Valli song, by the way.
Houston, Greece is the word?
And he does, yes, it is in fact in Greece too, yes.
Okay, good. I didn't think that was sung by John Travolta. Okay, that's it for that. Now, some other players besides Mihailovic and EPB that aren't going to be going anywhere anytime soon and making any other teams for the national team. I don't think Lyndon Gooch, despite all his efforts, has any chance. I don't think Greg cares. Honestly, let's be honest. Leonard Maloney. I hate to say this, but I don't think Greg cares. I really don't think he cares. I mean, I'd love to see Leonard Maloney come in as a possible backup to, Tyler Adams if we play a 4-3-3 as a CDM. But I don't know. I don't trust Greg. And I don't think we're going to see him next window get a sniff. Do you?
I guess it depends on who we're looking at as a replacement for. I mean, will Greg continue trying to play, like, say, Luca as a replacement? Possible.
Luca or Cardoso. He has relationships with both of those guys. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know where fucking Heidenheim is.
I'm just saying, though, if you're looking at any time of the cycle to try a new player, the beginning of the cycle is generally it. But saying that, we have limited number of windows leading into Copa. So
I get it, but here's a kid who helped bring Heidenheim to the Bundesliga. Did he have a great game last game? No. The whole team didn't play well. But he's had some great games this season. I mean, why not give him a sniff? We've seen what Cardoso can do, and it ain't all that special. And I don't know. Who else is a backup to Tyler Adams?
I think a lot of people are putting Cardoso's performances with his club, making that there is calling card as far as why he should be included with the national team, because his time he has spent with the national team has not been very impressive. Hasn't been awful, but nothing that I'm going to be like, dude, this guy is legit the next shit,
Yeah, he hasn't blown your dick off, and that's fine. We were promised Ronaldo and more Meg. We didn't promise you anything, Carlos. We were looking for a good time to have Eric on. I do not want to bring Eric on in a time like this where there's really not much to talk about. Let's bring him on when it matters. Meg, I mean, I don't know what we going to explore more Brooks rumors with Meg. I don't know what we're going to do with Meg right now. So we love both of those people.
I think once the teams are in windows, I think having Meg on would be perfectly fine. She has a lot of insight there.
Yes.
She traveled with the team during qualifying, so I mean, my guess is she'll probably be moving with the team around.
Maybe. We don't know that. Yeah, we don't know that.
I did reach out to her a while back and said, hey, we'd like to have you back on. And she's like, yeah, I'll be in Europe for another month and I'll be back. We can talk. I'm like, okay. And then several months passed and we haven't talked.
Right. It's easy to forget about those things.
Yeah.
Eric and I went back and forth. But we really, I mean, if we're going to have Eric on, it's got to be a really good show about some really pertinent stuff that is current. I don't want to have Eric on and then rehash shit we talked about 2 months ago about Greg or anybody else. Let's move forward. We're going to have him on. Let's do something that's really – any of these players more likely to be with Olympic camp? Maybe. I think Maloney would qualify, but that would be nice. As far as other guys that got no chance and might as well – we've already said Bello.
Leonard Maloney's already 23. There's no chance.
He's what?
He's already 23.
Okay.
Now, unless we want to use him up as an overage position, why would we include him?
Right. All right. I'm going to throw a name out there, and then I'm going to go run and grab a beer. And then I'll be back in 15 seconds. You ready, Brett? The name is...
Is this going to be as long as it took you to piss last time?
Yeah. So, i.e. 5 seconds. You ready?
Yeah. Sure.
Haji Wright. Haji Wright have any fucking shot at making this next squad? I'll be right back.
1, 2, 3. The answer is no. I mean, I was going to wait until he got back before I said no. But yeah, the answer is no. And it's not that he's not performing well enough, but he's currently competing against Pepe and Balogun for that striker role. It's not going to happen.
I don't think
so. And
then
when Sargent gets back, when he starts getting back into form, there's no chance. I mean, it's no chance unless it's going to be like another Gold Cup call-up or something like that.
And it's not like he's blowing anybody's scrotum off at Coventry.
Started off strong.
not bad, but not great enough to start the next game. He didn't start in the last game, right? Got what, 20 minutes? Can't remember. So I wouldn't be hanging my breath on him making any teams going forward. Not anything serious, that's for sure. Lund, I think, will probably be called up. I think he'll get another shot because he didn't disappoint, right?
Well, I mean, who's he competing against for that backup spot?
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, Tolkien didn't really impress all that much. Who played over Tolkien in the Gold Cup in the end? It was Jones. I mean, Jones could play there, I guess, but it looked like Berhalter wanted to throw him out right at that point once we got Lund in there.
Yeah, but again, Jones didn't I don't know. He didn't really make a statement.
Jones made a statement against some of the weaker teams in Gold Cup. Not saying that it wasn't his fault, but he did well there.
Yeah,
and I thought his Gold Cup performances were fine. I think he's over Tolkien at this point. I know a lot of people Tolkien up there.
I think the problem is there's enough depth where we know that Scally can play left back if absolutely necessary. So if someone is going to steal a spot for the backs, the two back positions, left back, right back, they better be goddamn convincing, is all I'm saying. Right? Because otherwise you're just going to pick Jedi, Guest, Scally, and whomever. Right? As
pretty much the way it's considered at this point. But if Lund comes back up in the next window and has another solid enough window, then yeah, I think he's basically going to be considered the backup to Jedi at that point. I mean, I still think in most windows, Jedi is probably going to run 90 minutes each game. Maybe he gets pulled out on one of the games. And then if you're talking about tournament time, I mean, you're talking about Jedi. Jedi runs most 90-minute games anyway. So at that point, you're maybe looking at a bit player, a bit character at that point. So you need somebody to come on that's going to not, create holes in your attack and also still be sound defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Lund's got it right now until he proves otherwise, despite the fact that he's currently playing Serie B.
Right, for Palermo. You guys all know this. We don't have to tell you this, but Brooks is never going to be back on this team again. And if he suddenly is, I'll, number one, eat crow. And number two, my respect for Berhalter will increase 20-fold. 20-fold. All of a sudden, I'll be like, oh, Greg is actually somewhat reflective.
I made a comment towards somebody on Twitter recently. It's because somebody's like, hey, now that he's reached out to Gio, do you think he's going to try to make amends with Brooks? I go, short answer, no.
No.
But I have a hell of a lot more respect for him if he did.
I would too. Who's another guy? That's Tessman. I don't think we're going to see Tessman back anytime soon. I think Tessman shot himself right in the foot. Yeah. I think that's pretty much. I don't think we're going to see him for the Germany Ghana. I don't think he's getting called up for that.
We only saw Tessman because Johnny came up lame,
and so was Adams.
Yeah. So I mean, the point was that Johnny was in the roster. He came up lame, and then Tessman filled in his role.
Right.
So I think next window with Johnny coming back from injury, we have Adams too. I think the spots are just filling up.
Casanova has a great point here on DK. Listen, this is a guy. If I looked at his injury record and I was an MLS fucking manager, I would not want on my team because the dude can't stay healthy. He can't. Yeah. He's been injured for so fucking long, and then he comes back and gets injured again, and now he's injured for so long again.
I'll say when he was healthy and he had that short loan
spell, that run, yeah,
he did incredibly well, and it almost warranted him a purchase at that point. Mm-hmm. Orlando basically said, "Nah, we're going to hold on to him for the rest of this year." I think if he's healthy and he's playing, I think he warrants as much hype as some people give. Not all people, because there's some people that really hype him up.
Haji, as much as Haji.
Yeah, exactly, yes. But the problem, as you mentioned so eloquently, is that he's always fucking injured.
Dude, he had a great run when he first got to England in the championship. He's scoring goals for fun. But that fun's over. And guess what? There are some injuries you just don't come back from. And you're just not going to be the same player. And if you, it might take you years to get there, to get over the idea that with every step you take and every breath you take, not only is someone watching you, but you might get injured again. And I don't think it's going to be easy for him to get over that at this point, because it's been so, the injuries have been so prolifically consistent. And that's a sad thing to say. Justin Che. We all had high hopes for Justin Che. We all did. I did. I can't think of many people who thought that Justin Che wasn't anything but the second coming of fucking Chris Richards.
I mean, any player that's been really heavily scouted by Bayern, like extreme interest, but obviously FC Dallas didn't want to offload him all right then and there. The bid just wasn't there as far as what they're looking for. Everybody's going to look at that and go like, "Well, geez, there's that much interest. He's got to be good."
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's not good. I'm just saying that we as a group once again may have overhyped him to the point where he'll never meet the expectations.
I was thinking, if this guy's as good as advertised, he'll get a loan out of Bayern to a team, which he did, and get some real playing time and kind of develop like Richards did. And we'll have another right back / center back option. But this motherfucker's over in the second division of Holland. And he's playing right back. He's got no hope right now. I mean, I'm not writing him off, but he certainly wasn't the guy that I thought would be like knocking on the door for us for 2026.
Well,
I don't think he's knocking on any doors right now. None.
Yeah. I mean, and it's good not to write him off, but it's also safe to assume that he's not going to hit that level that we expect. And what we expected was he'll finally go to Europe. He'll land a spot, whether it's a loan or a full transfer, and he'll get playing time and do what we've seen of, say, Richards, where Richards went from Bayern to Hoffenheim for a number of seasons or part of seasons, about 2 seasons actually.
Yeah, but he played.
He played there, yes. That's the key thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Julian Green and Maximilian Dietz. First of all, I don't even know if Greg knows who Maximilian Dietz is. He's the starting center back for Greuther Fürth. I think that he just doesn't value he doesn't value the German 2 Bundesliga as much as he values apparently Serie B.
Or values Scottish Premier League.
Yeah, outside of CCV and Tillman, no. Because Hark's never got it. Hark's never got a call. And then the last guy I want to bring up tonight. Guys, don't hang any hope at all that Koleosho is going to play for the USA anytime soon. Here's a guy who took a call from the Italian U20s, not even their U21 team, the U20 Italian team, which is like them saying, yeah, you're really not good enough for our U21 team yet. You're a U20 guy. And declined to call up in a game versus Oman and Uzbekistan that would not even have captained him, I don't believe, had he played. It was an invite to the camp, and he said, no, thank you. So, and this is a guy who is, yes, he's Premier League quality. I think we're just seeing the start of what that quality could be. And I'm not as excited as some of sort of the outliers out there who are like, sucking his dick every day on Twitter. You know, I can't go there. I can't, and I'm not going there ever again because I did that with Zalalem.
I've been burned too many times.
And all I got was a bitter taste in my mouth, right? That's what happens when you suck some dick, and you probably shouldn't be. So anyhow,
well, I'm not putting it at this point. I'm not really putting too much. I guess when you're talking about the dual nats, especially, and I know that we just got Balogun, so it's a bit different here. But I'm not putting too much hope into a potential player at that point. It's at the point, hey, if we keep talking about them, that's fine. We keep expressing interest, that's fine. Let the coaching staff deal with it. But I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait and see.
I'm not starting any campaign or anything like that.
That's not to say you guys can't. You guys absolutely do this all the time on Twitter. And who knows, the love you guys showed Balogun.
Yeah, it did make a difference.
You showed Musa, it can make a difference. I'm just, again, I'm not quite as burned as Derek in this situation, but I'm just like,
well, he's also
let it go.
He's also a left winger. What's he going to be? Pulisic's backup? Pulisic ain't leaving this team as a starter / captain anytime soon. So Coliocho, in order to be a starter on this team, and you know he's looking at it, and he's saying, well, I got to be Captain American for my playing spot? That seems like quite a leap of faith on my part to believe that can be done. And we got to the point here, depth-wise, on our team where there are dual nats that are like, well, I could play for 2 other countries, and I got a better chance maybe with at least one of the 3 countries to play better than I do going against Captain America for the left wing spot on the U.S. men's national team. So I don't know. There's lots of things for him to consider. It's way too early for him to commit to anything anyhow, so he doesn't need to really worry about it. One last player, Dwayne Holmes. I just want to make sure everybody knows Dwayne Holmes ain't playing for the U.S. men's national team. I don't care I don't care how great of a season he has with Preston North End. Greg hates him some Holmes. So, they butted heads. So that's over too. Kind of like Brooks is over. And God forbid Hoppy ever put his shit together. And yes, I know, I realize he scored in 2 games in a row. But if he ever put his shit together at Mallorca or at Middlesbrough and was scoring goals by the bucket loads, I still think there might be an issue there. I don't know for sure, but there could have been.
It's going to require more than just scoring a handful of goals in MLS to get him back into the fold.
Right.
So
now there are 1,000 other players we could go over here. Not 1,000, but you know what I mean. But I think at 2 hours and 13 minutes, we're going to call it a night.
Derek, I got some more fluff.
No, I don't want any more fluff. I don't want any more. I just want to call it a night.
I just want to go sleep. Let me sleep.
Old man needs sleep. Anyhow, no. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma, of course, or your great aunt. We do appreciate all the support you guys have provided us. And, ball sucking comment, cock sucking comment, kissing your ass comment, etc. All wrapped into a bundle. Because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. There'd be no point. So go ahead, Brett. I heard that, Brett.
I was just gonna make the comment of make sure you like.
Yes, make sure you like. I mean,
grandma.
And if you're not subscribed by now, just subscribe. What's the worst thing that could happen? You just see our show come up and you're like, I'm not watching it tonight. I'll watch it tomorrow when I buy a new fucking jar of Vaseline and my stepsister is over. And she loves the show, right? We both love the show and we can watch it together. We got the loo. Everything's going to work out great, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've already worked it out with your family and they already approve of your relationship. And that's important, that everybody is open and the conversation is flowed and there's no sort of weird Brady situation going on there. Like, the Brady Bunch thing. So if you have problems with that, let us know. But until then, thank you for joining the Straight Red Card, and we will see you on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Lots of good games coming up. Good night.
But she's a trap. She's an unsung novel. Turn a lap and get your whole world dazzled on the line, or a phone call with or without wine.
That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm
The articulate and intelligent.
Greg's a bitch. That's all.